How did Arsenal not win this one? They leave Stamford Bridge with a 1-1 draw that feels like 2 points dropped. They play for an hour with 10 men after that Caicedo red card on Moreno. Still fall behind from a set piece and have to be rescued by Saka's perfect cross and Moreno's header. In the stands, Arsenal fans are furious, wondering how he failed to finish off a direct rival with the title race in the balance. On paper, this run looks incredible, but Arsenal standards are sky high. This whole video is about checking in on every Premier League team through the eyes of their own supporters. Who's buzzing, who's breaking, and who's just trying to hold it together. If Arsenal fans are this tense, wait until you see what's happening just across North London. Tottenham's home misery hits a new low. 2 goals conceded inside 6 minutes. A horror moment for Vicario, and suddenly the place turns toxic. Every touch is booed, fan channels are calling it a meltdown. Mohamed Kudus smashes Spurs back into it, and Lucas Bergvall tries to drag them forward, but the equaliser never comes. Spurs slide to 12th, 6 games without home league win. And while Spurs stay buried in their rut, another team are busy proving in South London that you can dig your way out. Manchester United do exactly that. They dig themselves a hole with a flat first half, but in the second half they climb straight back out of it. 2-1 winners. Joshua Zirkzee finally snaps his year-long drought with a ruthless equaliser before Mason Mount completes the comeback from another Bruno Fernandes set piece. In the stands, the mood swings from fury at the first half to a mix of relief and cautious optimism. United jump to 7th. Steadier, if not fully convincing, and while they quieten the noise in South London, elsewhere in Manchester things are about to explode. Manchester City turn a routine afternoon into pure chaos. Phil Foden scores inside a minute, and again in stoppage time, and somehow City managed to cough up a 2-goal lead in between. In the crowd, you can feel it flip from cruise control to boos and groans. Fans furious with the defending, but clinging to relief as the winner hits the net. It's 3 points and a climb back to second, but it feels more like a warning than a celebration, especially with what was happening at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea don't just earn a point, they announce themselves. Down to 10 men after Moises Caicedo's red card. They still strike first through Chalobah's glancing header from a Reece James corner, and the place erupts. Online, Blues fans are calling it a moral win and raving about Robert Sanchez's saves against the league leaders. The draw keeps Chelsea in 3rd, within touching distance of Arsenal, and shifts the mood from doubt to belief. They're not the only side in London changing the narrative tonight. Liverpool finally hit a pause on the spiral. Arne Slot makes the bold call to leave Mohamed Salah out from the start, and his side deliver a calm, controlled 2-0 win that feels like a reset. Alexander Isak's first Premier League goal for the club releases weeks of tension, and you can see the away end switch from anxious to quietly hopeful. Liverpool climb back to 8, only 3 points off 3rd, and they're not the only team this weekend to finally shake off an ugly storyline. Newcastle United finally cracked their away day curse in emphatic fashion. Malik Thor's header after 52 seconds sets the tone. Teenage star Lewis Miley takes over the script, creating the opener and netting the crucial second to put the game out of reach before half-time. Magpie fans go from anxious to elated, talking about the night that their season turned a corner and the away form questions died down. Newcastle climb to 13th and start looking up at the table. And speaking of fortresses, attention now shifts to Villa Park. Aston Villa grind out another 1-0 win to keep their fortress reputation alive in Matchweek 13. After Unai Emery turns to Ollie Watkins, the tempo lifts, and Boubacar Kamara finally breaks it open with a stunning left-foot rocket from range. Villa's latest entry into their outside-the-box highlight reel. Villa fans exhale, chanting Bouba's name and thanking Emi Martinez for another night of game-saving stops. Villa climb to 4th, king of home comforts, and that contrast matters when we talk about the away day struggles next. Fulham pick perfect night finally break their own away day curse. 2 goals inside 6 minutes. Kenny Tete's deflected strike and Harry Wilson's outrageous 30-yard lob stun Spurs and give Marco Silva's side something precious to protect. The Fulham end goes from nervous to bouncing, riding every clearance, every tackle, desperate for that first league win on the road. They have to suffer after the break, but hold firm for a massive 3 points. And while Fulham fans can finally exhale, another travelling support up in Manchester is about to be dragged through the opposite emotional roller coaster. Leeds United are 2 down early and look cooked at the break, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin comes on, scores one, wins the penalty and Metcher buries on the rebound, and suddenly it's a 2-2 and the way end is bouncing. Then stoppage time hits and it's 4 straight league losses. Leeds marooned in the bottom 3, fans torn between fury at the first half and pride in the fight back, and around the relegation zone that pressure is starting to spread. Everton's bounce after Old Trafford vanishes in 90 brutal minutes at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. An early goal inside a minute stuns the place. The real gut punch was when Jordan Pickford spills a routine effort for 2-0. Without Idrissa Gueye, the midfield is carved open, only for Kieran Dewsbury-Hall to offer a touch of class with a brilliant consolation. Home fans are furious, calling it embarrassing and fearing another relegation scrap. And while blue hearts sink on Merseyside in the northeast, the mood is very different. Sunderland turn panic into pure joy. 2 down inside 15 minutes, they claw their way back with Enzo Lefebvre's penalty and flip the script after half-time. Capped by Brian Brobbery's towering winner, the place is shaking with fans calling it one of the best home nights in years, and that unbeaten home record now has them sitting 6th and dreaming about Europe. And while Sunderland are making a statement on Wearside, another team is under the microscope at the City Ground. Brighton answer a lot of questions. They fly out with real intent, the Kuiper finally breaking through just before half-time. After the break, it's about steel. Verbruggen's big one-on-one save, Dunk and Van Heckel throwing bodies on the line. A clean sheet that feels like payback for that 7-0 here last season. Brighton fans are proud. They're calling it a gritty, ugly win, and that kind of edge leads us perfectly onto another team reshaping their identity in front of their own supporters. Brentford turn a snooze fest into a statement. After 80 minutes of frustration, Igor Thiago holds his nerve from the spot, then smashes home Jordan Henderson's cross a minute after the nerve-jangling equaliser. A third late on sends Brentford's G-Tech into celebration, with Bees fans flipping from groans to job done in 5 wild minutes. It's 3 straight home wins, a new star up front, and Brentford buzzing around the European conversation, while elsewhere our focus shifts to a very different kind of fight at the bottom. Wolves finally show some life under Rob Edwards, but a 1-0 defeat keeps them winless and rooted to the bottom. They edge the big moments. Strand Larsen's finish is wiped out by VAR. Then Mosquera's header rattles the underside of the bar. Then comes the dagger. Boubacar Kamara from range, arrowing one into the top corner. The one flash of quality Wolves lack. Fans are torn between pride and despair, sensing progress, and our next stop at Selhurst Park shows how set pieces change everything. Crystal Palace look the part early. Mateta buries a retaken penalty. Wharton is running the show and the Eagles are flying, but the game flips from set pieces. Xerxes punishes them from a free kick, and the turning point comes when Mason Mount's low effort squirms through the breaking wall and past Dean Henderson. The home unbeaten run since February is gone, and fans are fuming. Big performance, no killer, not an update, and that same sickening feeling you'll find on the South Coast next, where another fast start goes badly wrong. Bournemouth's Matchweek 13 starts like a highlight reel and ends as a warning sign. Adley's first goal for the club and an outrageous long-range lob from Tyler Adams after Cherries 2-0 up inside 15 minutes. But the whole game turns on the first half penalty. From there, Bournemouth lose their grip and a second half header from a corner finishes off a 3-2 collapse. Cherries fans go from replaying Adams' wonder goal to raging over the loss of discipline and Lewis Cook's stoppage time red card. It's 4 without a win. Bournemouth slip to 11th. Questions start to swirl about the game management, and they're not the only side feeling the sting of a late collapse this weekend. Burnley's Matchweek 13 turns into another late nightmare in the relegation fight. After an hour of low-key football, the game finally erupts. Axel Tuanzebe gives away a penalty and the Clarets fall behind, only for Zion Fleming to bury his spot kick and send the away end bouncing, convinced they've stolen the point. Instead, it sparked a collapse. Another soft goal almost straight from kickoff and a third in stoppage time, and the fans are furious with the back line, seeing the same story play out. It's 8 defeats in 11. Burnley still 19th, pressure rising on Scott Parker, and big questions about their ability to see out games. And over in East London, another team in trouble is about to feel that same sting. West Ham momentum hits a wall at the London Stadium, beaten 2-0 and failing to register a single shot on target. The key moment is self-inflicted. Lucas Paquetá completely loses his composure, 2 quick yellows for dissent, and the Hammers are down to 10, with fans absolutely livid at the lack of leadership around him. Alfonso Areola is the lone bright spot after another big first half save, but West Ham stay 17th, level with Leeds and firmly in a relegation scrap. And they're not the only ones seeing momentum stall near the bottom. Nottingham Forest's 5-match unbeaten run comes to an end with a 2-0 defeat to Brighton at the City Ground. A slow start let the visitors take control, and a goal right on half-time set a frustrated tone. After the break, Dyche's changes brought life. Hutchinson and Hudson-Odoi gave Forest a real spark. The crowd lifted with every attack. Chances kept coming, but the finish wasn't there. And in the 88th minute, a costly mistake from Morato sealed it. Brighton doubling their lead and the belief fading fast. Forest showed energy and intent, but are still 16th in the table. And that's the picture across the league this week. At the top, fans argue over standards. At the bottom, they're begging for one result to change everything. This is our first Premier League check-in on the channel. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and tell us how your club's feeling tonight.